Bangkok just got ranked the #1 city in the world for scams. 48% of fraud cases involve taxis, 24 times higher than Hong Kong. The Grand Palace was named the worst tourist attraction globally for theft, and the official U.S. Embassy advice? Pay the extortion and report it later because confronting scammers could get you hurt. So is Bangkok safe? Let's find out. Let's start with the data because the truth is complicated. Bangkok's crime index sits at 40.5, which is actually moderate, not terrible, not great. Thailand's overall homicide rate is 2.6 per 100,000 people, which is lower than the United States at 6.8 per 100,000. Violent crime against tourists is genuinely rare. Millions visit Bangkok every year without major incidents, so technically Bangkok is safe. You're statistically unlikely to be murdered, assaulted, or violently attacked. But here's the reality check. Safety isn't just about violent crime. It's about feeling secure. It's about not being constantly scammed. It's about walking down the street without worrying your bag will be snatched by a guy on a motorbike. And on those metrics, Bangkok has serious problems. Compare the market-ranked Bangkok as the #1 city in the world for pickpocketing and tourist scams in 2025. Out of 50 major cities globally, Bangkok came in first. The Grand Palace, one of Bangkok's most iconic landmarks, was named the worst tourist attraction in the world for scams and theft. A MasterCard study from May 2025 found that 48% of fraud cases in Bangkok involve taxis and car rentals. Compare that to Hong Kong or Barcelona, where the figure is just 2%. That's a 24 times higher rate of taxi fraud. So yes, you probably won't get stabbed in Bangkok, but you will almost certainly encounter scams, overcharging, or petty crime. And for many tourists, that's enough to make Bangkok feel unsafe. Let's talk about the scams because they're everywhere. The Grand Palace closure scam is legendary. You arrive at the palace, a well-dressed local approaches. "Oh, so sorry, the palace is closed today for special ceremony, but I know a very good temple, very cheap, I take you there." Sounds helpful, right? Except the palace isn't closed. He's taking you to an overpriced gem shop or tailor where he gets a commission. This scam is so common that it's basically a Bangkok tradition at this point. Then there's the gem scam. A friendly stranger tells you about a government-sponsored one-day sale on precious stones. You can buy them cheap in Thailand and resell them for huge profits back home, except they're fake. You just spent thousands of dollars on glass. The taxi meter scam? The driver refuses to turn on the meter, or it's broken, or it's running 3 times faster than normal. You arrive at your destination owing 500 baht for a ride that should cost 100 baht. The tuk-tuk tour scam? The driver offers a suspiciously cheap city tour, but he insists on taking you to specific gem shops, tailor shops, and souvenir stores where he gets a commission. You waste hours being dragged to places you don't want to go. The Klong Canal boat scam? You hire a longtail boat to tour Bangkok's canals. At the end, the driver stops a few meters from the pier and demands extra money. Unless you want to swim, you pay. And my personal favorite, the bar overcharging scam. You're in a red light district or touristy nightlife area. You order a drink, the bill arrives. It's 10 times what you expected. When you protest, the staff gets aggressive. Some bars threaten violence if you don't pay. The U.S. Embassy literally warns tourists, if you are victimized in this fashion, you should not attempt to resolve the problem yourself, but should instead pay the price demanded and then seek out a nearby tourist police officer. Think about that. The official advice is just pay the extortion money and report it later, because confronting the scammers could get you hurt. Now let's talk about petty crime, because while violent crime is rare, petty crime is rampant. Pickpocketing is endemic. Chatuchak Weekend Market, Patpong Night Market, the Grand Palace, Wat Pho, these are all hotspots. Thieves target tourists in crowded places. They work in teams. One distracts you while another steals your wallet. Snatching is common. You're walking down the street. A motorbike pulls up. The passenger grabs your bag and they speed off. It happens so fast, you barely have time to react. Drive-by theft is a real thing. You're in a tuk-tuk. A motorbike pulls alongside. They reach in and grab your phone or camera. Gone in seconds. One traveler described Bangkok pickpockets as using razors to cut purses and bags open to remove their contents. That's not opportunistic theft. That's skilled, organized crime. And the worst part, police rarely help. The Canadian government warns that police will seldom intervene in incidents involving taxi drivers. Local police are reluctant to get involved in tourist issues. They expect you to resolve problems yourself, so you get scammed, robbed, or overcharged. You call the tourist police at 1155, they're sympathetic, but can they actually get your money back or catch the thieves? Rarely. Let me inject some dark humor because honestly, Bangkok's scam culture is both infuriating and absurd. Bangkok markets itself as the City of Angels, but tourists are starting to call it the City of Scams. One visitor joked, "I've been scammed so many times in Bangkok that I've started budgeting for it." Day 1, Grand Palace scam, budget 500 baht. Day 2, taxi scam, budget 300 baht. Day 3, gem scam. Okay, maybe I'll skip that one. Another traveler described the taxi situation perfectly. Bangkok taxi drivers have 3 settings: refuse the fare, refuse to use the meter, or use a meter that's clearly been tampered with. It's like a choose-your-own-adventure book, except all the endings involve you getting ripped off. And the tuk-tuk drivers, they're like carnival barkers. You want tour? I give you very good price. See Grand Palace, Wat Pho, Floating Market, Gem Shop. Wait, Gem Shop? Yes, very special price today only. Right. One Reddit user described a brilliantly petty revenge. A taxi driver tried to scam me with a broken meter. I asked him to stop at an ATM. He waited. I withdrew money, walked back to the car, handed him exactly what the fare should have been based on distance, and walked away. He was furious but couldn't do anything because I'd paid a legitimate amount. But my favorite absurdity? The closed attraction scam has become so well known that now there are meta scams. Fake tourists approach you before the real scammers and warn you about the scam, and then try to scam you themselves. It's scammers all the way down. Now let's talk about the stuff that actually is dangerous. In June 2025, Thai authorities defused explosive devices in Phuket, Krabi, and Phang Nga. Small-scale bomb attacks have occurred in public places. The Australian and Canadian governments warn that further attacks are possible and could happen anywhere, including tourist destinations like Bangkok. Thailand has an ongoing terrorism threat. The southern provinces near Malaysia see regular attacks from separatist insurgents. But Bangkok itself has experienced terrorism. In 2015, a bombing at Erawan Shrine killed over 20 people. The Canadian government states, "There is an ongoing threat of terrorism in Thailand. Attacks could be indiscriminate, including in tourist destinations." Then there's political instability. Thailand had a military coup in 2014. Protests in 2020 were heavily repressed. The political situation is described as volatile and unpredictable. Large demonstrations happen regularly in Bangkok. They can turn violent when police attack protesters. The government has legal provisions allowing the military to exercise sweeping powers, including suspending civil liberties and media. Foreign governments warn, avoid protests, political gatherings, demonstrations, and marches, because even peaceful demonstrations can turn violent quickly. And then there's the Cambodia border war. In July and December 2025, fighting erupted along the Thailand-Cambodia border. Over 30 people died. More than 800,000 civilians were displaced. Thai F-16 jets dropped bombs on Cambodian positions. While the conflict is 250-plus kilometers from Bangkok, the fact that Thailand is actively at war affects the overall security environment. Let's talk about something that doesn't get enough attention: sexual assault and drugging. The Australian government specifically warns, don't leave food or drinks unattended. They may be contaminated with drugs or other toxic substances. You're at higher risk of sexual assault and theft if you get drugged. Multiple tourists report being drugged in Bangkok bars, then robbed or sexually assaulted. It happens in Khao San Road, Sukhumvit, Patpong, and other nightlife areas. The U.S. State Department notes, crimes against women are also a possibility, often in connection with drinking and / or drug use involving one or both parties. And here's the really disturbing part. The U.S. Embassy warns, unfortunately, police in Thailand are often more likely to take the side of the male in many male-female crimes, especially if the male is Thai. So if you're a woman who gets assaulted in Bangkok, there's a good chance the police won't believe you or will blame you for it. The Australian government states, under Thai law, courts will only accept the results of a medical examination from some government hospitals. So if you're sexually assaulted, you need to go to a specific government hospital immediately. Private hospitals won't provide evidence that courts accept. This is not a safe environment for solo female travelers, despite what tourism marketing claims. Here's what tourists need to understand. Bangkok's safety is conditional. If you're a man traveling in a group, staying in tourist zones, using Grab instead of street taxis, and avoiding political areas and nightlife, you'll probably be fine. You'll encounter scams, but you won't face serious danger. If you're a woman traveling alone, especially at night, especially in nightlife areas, your risk increases dramatically. Drugging, sexual assault, and theft are real threats. If you're wealthy and flash expensive jewelry, cameras, or phones, you're a target for theft. If you don't speak Thai and can't read Thai numerals, you'll get overcharged constantly. If you're naive and trust friendly strangers offering help, you'll get scammed. Bangkok is safe. If you're paranoid, streetwise, and constantly on guard, that's not the kind of safe most tourists want to experience. So what needs to change in 2026? First, crack down on scams. Not just when they go viral. Systematic undercover operations. Arrest taxi drivers who refuse meters. Shut down gem shops involved in scams. Make examples of scammers so others think twice. Second, actually prosecute sexual assault cases and support victims. Train police to handle these cases sensitively. Stop victim blaming. Make it clear that assaulting tourists will result in serious consequences. Third, eliminate dual pricing. Charging foreigners 10 to 16 times more than Thais for the same attractions isn't just offensive, it creates a culture where foreigners are seen as ATMs to be exploited. Fourth, improve tourist police effectiveness. The 1155 hotline is great, but can they actually recover stolen money, catch thieves, prosecute scammers? If not, what's the point? Fifth, regulate taxis and tuk-tuks. Make meter usage mandatory. Fine drivers who refuse. Create a rating system so tourists know which drivers to avoid. Sixth, address the terrorism threat transparently. Don't downplay bomb threats or attacks. Be honest about risks so tourists can make informed decisions. And finally, change the culture. Stop treating tourists like walking ATM's train service workers to be genuinely helpful, not transactional. Create a tourism environment based on hospitality, not exploitation. Look, I don't want to scare people away from Bangkok. It's an incredible city. The food is amazing. The temples are stunning. The culture is rich. The nightlife is vibrant. But tourists deserve to know the truth. And the truth is, Bangkok is safe from violent crime, but unsafe from scams and petty crime. You're unlikely to be murdered, but very likely to be ripped off. That's a form of insecurity that affects your entire experience. You can't relax. You can't trust anyone. You're constantly watching your wallet, negotiating prices, and wondering if the friendly local offering help is actually a scammer. That's exhausting. And it's why many tourists visit Bangkok once and then choose other destinations for future trips. So should you visit Bangkok in 2026? That's up to you. If you go, be prepared. Research scams beforehand. Use Grab instead of street taxis. Never accept help from strangers near tourist attractions. Carry minimal cash. Leave valuables at your hotel. Don't leave drinks unattended. Avoid political gatherings. Stay in well-reviewed accommodations in safe neighborhoods, and lower your expectations. Bangkok won't be the carefree, tropical paradise Instagram shows. It'll be chaotic, scam-filled, and stressful. But if you go in knowing that, you can still have a good time. Just don't expect to feel safe. Because Bangkok in 2026 is many things. Exciting, delicious, beautiful, chaotic. But genuinely safe? That's a stretch. Have you been to Bangkok recently? What was your safety experience? Let me know in the comments. And if you found this video helpful, smash that like button and subscribe for more travel reality checks. See you in the next one.